Hello, everyone. Welcome to Digital Wisdom, which is what is the theme of today's discussion. My name is Manoj Agarwal. I'm the group editor at Banking Frontiers. In Digital Wisdom today, we interview one special guest every time. My guest today here is Mr. Kinjal Shah. He is the Chief Technology Officer at Yes Securities. Kinjal, welcome to Digital Wisdom.
Thank you.
Kinjal, how does the topic of digital wisdom sound to you?
I think it's a novel way of introducing that. So
Okay.
it's a good one.
So I think we are bridging the very ancient, which is wisdom, and the very modern, which is digital. Hopefully, this mixture of old and new will bridge so many generation gaps.
We'll try that.
We'll try that. Great. So, Kinjal, you have done a bachelor's and a master's in computer science.
Yes.
You started your career as a software developer, spent a good number of years doing software development. Then you have risen up the ranks. Today, you have entered the C suite. How does it feel to be a CTO, a leader, in fact?
So one of the advantages you get when you move through the ranks of engineering into management is you have a good background of how software works and what are the pitfalls and advantages. At the
Yes.
same time, while rising through the ranks, you are able to transform that knowledge into management as well. So you get to do bigger and better things while leaving the regular stuff to the people who are just entering the industry. So that also helps you because you are better able to explain the need or the advantages of doing a particular project digitally to
Okay.
management because you are able to show business value apart from technical value. At the same time, because you are aware of how software lifecycle works, you are also able to grasp the technical aspects. And that helps in giving more predictability to management at the senior level, at the board level. And
Okay.
also because you are aware of all the pitfalls and all the advantages, you are able to give more realistic and better estimates and able to solve problems if they arise and
Right.
guide the junior team. So there is a level of empathy also for the juniors.
So, sounds that this gives you a lot of confidence to talk to the people above you, senior management, and the team under you.
Yes.
And that reflects, I guess, in the way you communicate.
Yeah, as you move into the CXO role, you are more like an enabler. You are a bridge between the team that actually works and the board of directors and the top management, which is actually funding a project.
Yes.
Being a bridge, you need to know both the sides. So, my job or any CXO job is to translate the business vision into technical goals. And at the same time, whatever the hard work or the team has put in is my job to represent that to management in the best way possible.
Right, right. So, as you rise up the ranks, you obviously learn a lot of lessons. What are the main source of valuable lessons that you have learned? Is it people around you? Is it projects? Is it vendors? Is it conferences? What is the main source of learning for you?
I think good learning can come from anywhere. So that's why we have regular meeting with our teams. We have teams with our peers. We have meetings with other people. We go to conferences. Two things. It's more of learning and sharing our knowledge. So it's like a collaboration effort, if I would call it, because I would share what I have learned, and at the same time, I got to get to know what other people are doing. I also that also helps you in identifying and defining or scoping out which technology trends to catch because today there are many trends working, at least 6 to 10 different trends are working at the same time. One of them will work, another maybe at a sunset. By going through this whole ecosystem, whether it's working through the partners or the conferences or the experts, you actually have a handle on what is it that is working in the industry, and I get to decide what is it that will apply to my organization and my field in particular.
So, you're learning about business, you're learning about technology, you're learning about ecosystems.
Yes,
So, multiple kinds of learnings are happening in parallel.
right.
Okay, that's interesting. Now, technology being such a dynamic sector, and now business also, especially financial sector business, become extremely dynamic. Can you describe the dynamic transformation of the learning that you have experienced?
When I started my initial career at L&T, so that time I was very impressed with my boss's work. At least couple of them I worked with in a short period before I went to US to do my masters. So one thing I learned is have complete trust in your team. So once you've decided a particular project will be done by a set of people, then you don't go and question. And that is,
Okay.
and then decision making has to be fast based on the factors, whatever. See, decisions could be right, it could be wrong. But the most important is the passion and the sincerity. You look at all the factors which are available to you, and then you make a decision. So that's one of the earliest lessons I learned.
Okay.
So that helps me a lot. Today, even people tell me that I'm able to make decisions faster. Part of that goes to my earlier stints at L&T and the earlier jobs that I have, because my managers were very supportive in me taking a decision. They had even allowed me to work with partners and vendors earlier in my career. Have email communication sent on projects, talk to senior management, give presentations. So there was a whole exercise which was done, and that helps me a lot today also. As far as technology is rapidly changing. So I think the best thing you can do is become a student, a lifelong student, because there are things you learn, there are things you unlearn. But if you're continuously learning, then at least you'll be able to catch trends. You'll be able to be interested in newer technology and apply that to your projects and day-to-day life. So I think being a student is most important, especially in the field of computers, where every 1 to 2 years things are changing completely.
Absolutely. Friends, we all want to be more and more successful, right? But then we discover our internal constraints and we discover our external constraints. Kinjal, as you discover yourself more, what internal constraints did you learn?
So today technology is playing a very big role. Today technology is so big that there are domains attached to technology. Like in the case of marketing technology, it's smart tech. In education technology, it is ed tech. In the case of BFSI technology, we call it fintech. So tech itself is so big that the domains get attached to tech. That is
Yes.
how today it has been. So when you are starting your career, or if it's you're at the middle level of a career, or at the fag end, every time you'll have two options. One is to go in that particular domain or explore outside. There is no right or wrong. It depends on your interest. So if you are interested in technology and if you are interested in taking bigger and better roles, try to have an understanding of the domain as well, because that is what will stick to you. There's every
Okay.
domain has enough technology to work on, so there's no big bad or good. But this is a reality. This is an internal constraint. Once you take a job as a consulting firm, then you'll get offers from other consulting firms. If you work in manufacturing technology, then you'll have offers from other places. So typically people will try to guide you into the same domain. It is your choice. If you are enjoying the domain, nothing like it. Like in my case, I don't know whether it was by choice or by chance, but the financial domain stuck with me. So I started off with L&T where it was a different one, but then when I did my masters in Houston, then I got a job into a insurance company to handle that technology. Then I got to work in the financial technology, and then from that point, the domain has stuck with me. Even though
Okay.
I have changed roles, I have changed technology, but the financial domain has stuck with it. And that is something which is interesting to me, so I've stuck around. So I have not changed the domain as such. So this is a constraint which will be for you, because every time you are switching a job or you are looking at better opportunity, this option will be there with you.
And what is it about the financial sector, about the domain that you liked so much?
I think every technology guy, he will want that whatever he's doing, there should be a meaningful impact into the society. So for in my case, I think half my career I've spent at exchanges.
Okay.
In that case, every piece of code I write, it directly impacts the market. So
Yes.
because exchanges are more like market infrastructure. Like a road you drive or any car, no matter the quality of the car or the journey, roads are important for car. And exchanges serve as a role of market infrastructure in the case of technology, and even for the finance. So I have been
Yes.
lucky that any line of code that I had written earlier or any kind of project that I shipped out, there are users and I get feedback real time. If something goes wrong, I think
Okay.
there is a huge impact when things at the exchange goes wrong, because exchange is like a clock for the whole city.
Sticking very quickly.
Right. And in financial firms, latency is a very important thing. So if
Yes.
things go wrong, you have to fix it in a few minutes. When we launch a project, we see how to shut it off. We first learn how to remove what we have developed, because we don't want existing to change. And then slowly we add in the nuances to get it working and embed it into the main technology stack.
Right.
So we learn different way. First, how to shut off what you have done, and then we inculcate in the mainstream.
Interesting.
Typically, companies also want people with domain experience. So there is a saying like we hire different people to make a difference, and then we fire them because they are not the same.
Okay.
Typically, companies will say that they want to do something different, they want something innovation or something, but
Mm-hmm.
there are many companies they don't know what it entails. That's why I think in financial world there are people who are called as change agents,
Uh-huh.
because every company needs at least one or two people in a group of people who are willing to take that risk, adopt new technology,
Mm-hmm.
and become the trailblazer for that. Because eventually technology changes very rapidly. In every 2 3 years it completely changes, and all the firms do abide by that.
Yes.
But if you have such change agents, then you can be at the forefront of technology rather than an also ran.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it is very important that you are you have a very high conviction of what you are doing. One of them, that conviction will come from continuously upskilling yourself,
Uh-huh.
because then you'll be able to tell what you are saying, you'll be able to see what is happening and then explain to others as well, and you can become a change agent. And other is, you have to be very assertive in what you are doing. You don't insult people, you don't have negativity, but you are able to tell things as it is, leaving emotions aside,
Uh-huh.
just focusing
Okay.
on the facts.
A lot of clarity then has to be understood and conveyed. So, Kinjal, in technology, new things keep coming and at a very rapid pace. And not all those new innovations or new technologies succeed. So, describe some of the technology bets that you took on, which have actually worked out well for you and for the organization you were at that time.
So if we look at the last 20 years, there have been few innovations every few years. So
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning of the century, it was internet, which took everyone
Mm.
by storm. Then 5 to 7 years down the line, it was more like everything digital, because everything was coming more and more online. So the websites and the web tools were a race. Then there was a cloud journey which took off, but then it came more mainstream in the last 5 years.
Mm.
Then there is a digital transformation where you not only focus on the technology, you focus on the operations and how you can optimize the whole process of giving a service to a customer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, and then there is APIfication, where you let out more and more data into the public domain through well guarded rails and APIs. So there is an APIfication of the whole process. And then there was blockchain,
Uh-huh.
and then now it is cloud, moving to the cloud. So these are all trends and technologies which have had a huge impact on the whole technology landscape.
So have you been an earlier adopter of these technologies or a bit more cautious adopter in general?
So there is one piece of technology which is obsolescence. Every few years, whatever you've been using, it gets obsolescent.
Right.
Either the technology support stops, or you don't find people to run it.
Mm-hmm.
There could be multiple reasons. Or maybe the whole business that was being offered through that channel becomes redundant. So
Okay.
technology is very fast moving. At the same time, some things don't change over so fast. Like human behavior, customer preferences, they don't change very
Right.
fast. But when they change overnight.
Okay.
Today, everyone is using mobile. I think 10 years back, no one thought that anything should be on the mobile. Everyone thought that mobile is for
Yes.
playing videos and for having calls, and you go and log into your computer and look at your websites and get your transactions done.
Correct.
I think initially in the financial sector, it was more like a website offering you financial information, like your bank balance and
Mm-hmm.
your transactions. It was never meant to transact. Today, a
Yes.
very large percentage of the transactions are done online.
And on a
In
mobile.
fact, today not only website and mobile, today there are applications on your smartwatch as well. So everything is
Okay.
more ubiquitous.
Right.
Digital transformation has been a rage. The move journey to cloud infrastructure has been a rage. There is one thing which is blockchain, which has not moved that much,
Mm-hmm.
because not because that technology is bad or something, because Bitcoin is doing really well,
Uh-huh.
but primarily it is meant in a zero trust environment. And today the whole world still relies on a currency or a federal bank or something.
Right.
So the number of use cases for a private economy is still less, which
Okay.
is why Bitcoin has not caught up. But it is doing very well in startups which are funding Bitcoin projects for family offices, because family offices run for hundreds of
Okay.
years, and all the relatives, they don't talk to each other much. In that case, Bitcoin projects are doing well because there is a well guarded security in the transactions.
Okay. Interesting. So when you take on new technologies and new business models along with that, do you find it easy to convince the stakeholders or are there any challenges in that process?
I would say both. I have faced challenges in launching new projects, and I have got support in launching new projects. There
Okay.
have been instances. But I look at this aspect in two different ways. One is when I go to management, I look at two things. One is what if I were not, because management has two things. One is what will I get if I do approve this project?
Okay.
What if I, what if this idea fails?
Mm-hmm.
And they look at what if I did not do that. So this is what you have to explain. What
Okay.
if you don't do this project? Is it that you will miss the bus? Or maybe that bus is going to have a puncture and it's good to take the bus after this. So that is what
Okay.
management asks you, because can we wait for some time? Do we have to be the first mover? Can we be the second mover?
Yes.
There are many companies which have not been the first movers and they have done very well in being the second
They
movers.
deliberately avoided being
Right.
the first
So,
mover.
which wave to catch and which to leave, I think it's more like surfing that is important.
Okay.
And from a team's perspective, when I'm looking at team, I look at people who are going to do the project. What is the technology I'm picking? Is it the today mainstream, or is it going to become mainstream after some time? Do I see a challenge? Is it
Mm.
solving a business problem?
Okay.
When I do something new, I don't do for the fascination of doing new.
Mm-hmm.
Because primarily I worked in finance companies where every investment matters. Every technology project is a cost. And while it
Yes.
may give very good returns, that cost has to be justified. So I look at a technology innovation in terms of how can I adapt to the latest technology and solve my business problems. Can I do the same thing in a better way?
Mm-hmm.
Can I take care of the innovation requirement of my people? Because people who are willing to take risk, people who are willing to learn new. So I don't have separate programs for upskilling projects, upskilling the
Okay.
people. I don't have separate programs for motivating people. In my case, I look at innovation as itself a motivator and a
Okay.
reward program.
That's interesting.
And
That's
it's not like I
interesting.
only value for people who are doing innovation, because innovation comes in waves. You look at a project, you do something new, then you allow it to stabilize, then again you work on something new. You don't continuously go and innovate. That is not the way. Because innovation is also like if you are doing 5 projects, 3 may work, 2 may not work. You should be
Right.
able to let go the 2 projects instead of just hanging on that. So there is work for both kinds of people. People who are very good at doing the same thing again and again, and people who are easily bored who always want to do something new.
Right.
But in an organization, you need both, because in the financial world, once there's a software, you need to handle it for 8 years financially.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to stick with it for a long time. It's not like a startup where you can do something and fail and
Correct.
again start a different startup. Because all the financial data is actually to be regulatory wise has to be stored for a number of years.
Right.
Depending on the project industry or the venture, it varies, but it's still a significant amount of time.
Right. Since you talked about products and softwares rising and dying out and all those waves, having seen all those, in what way do you think your ability to forecast success or to forecast the life of something has improved? So, what is the balance between intuition and using knowledge for some of the subtle things?
Intuition is more like gut feeling. When you have narrowed down on, say, 2 or 3 things,
Uh huh.
which one to choose is intuition. But to come down to that 2 or 3 things, I look at 10 different things. So I have developed a process around that. Like I look at all the technology trends, I look at all the business problems that I have. And when we are starting out a project, we list down why we want to do a project,
Mm-hmm.
whether business or technology. What is it that we are trying to achieve? What is it the problem we are trying to solve? And once we complete that, then we again come back to the drawing board on what were our assumptions and what is the current market reality.
Mm-hmm.
We do an analysis. We try to see where we. I think we a fancy word today is called retrospective,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I think it's a very important exercise because you will not have all the factors when you are starting out something.
Right.
But you once you do this due diligence, it helps you. And if you do it on a continuous basis, even your intuition improves and your decision making also improves. Because now you've seen
Okay.
what are the factors you've considered, what you missed out, or what is it that something you can take care.
Mm-hmm.
Because technology today is not just enabler function. Today, technology is one role is enabler. Second role is it is a differentiator. If you have a better technology
Yes.
stack,
Correct.
and if you have a better technology product, your sales team can go and differentiate between you and your competitor.
Right.
And over time, if you keep on doing this, technology is not just a differentiator, it becomes a driver of new revenue for you.
Mm.
Because you are telling something, you are solving a problem in the market which no one has envisioned so far.
Interesting. Enabler, differentiator,
And
and
driver.
then driver, EDD. That's another three-letter acronym for all of us techies. Kinjal, let's come to an interesting round where we'll call as a rapid fire round. So, first question is this: what key difference have you seen, or differences have you seen, between the spirit of older tech companies and the newer startup kind of tech companies?
So the older tech companies were trying to automate what was done manually.
Uh huh.
And at that point, when they started off, it was actually required because no one is going to give you the best in technology projects. The projects that come to India are more like people don't want to do that.
Okay.
So from that point of view, they are more like play safe kind of thing. But I have seen that the new age technology companies, they are willing to take risks and they are willing to fail
Okay.
just because they have a disruptive idea in mind.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. So, risk taking ability. You see
Yes,
that as the main differentiator.
I see that. Yes.
Any second differentiator?
Second differentiator is today they are more thought through because maybe the kind of resources today we have is much better than what was earlier. But earlier people were very okay to get any kind of project. Today people, the Gen Z and all are very clear on what they want to do and what kind of careers they want. So they are very clear on that. So I think that will also reflect in the newer companies also because a lot of companies today are based out of the founders and everyone is quite young.
Right.
Even when there are family offices which are funding new projects, the actual people on the execution are quite young. So today, it is good to be slightly younger
Right.
compared to before when you had to reach 60 to reach to a level where you can have an influence in the decision making.
Ah, yes, yes, that's changed. Correct. Second question: do you interact with the technology vendors a lot? And what are one or two of the main kind of things that you've personally learned from them?
So today, I would call most of the vendors as partners because they
Okay.
are actually today they are not just giving me staff augmentation. Today, many of them are selling a product which I can integrate into my technology stack. So if I look at them collectively, it helps me spot at what are the technology trends because many of those products, some of them I buy, some of them I am not able to buy at this point, but it helps me in my build versus buy decision making. Because today, if I build something, I am trying to ensure it is the best in the market.
Right.
And I also invest in continuing to keep it best in the market.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have a product which is really good and I see that the management team over there is interested in the future roadmap, then I'm willing to collaborate with them. Because today there is more and more regulation in the financial industry. So any kind of product that I assimilate, I have to ensure that it meets the regulatory criteria,
Right.
the compliance criteria, the legal criteria. So I look at people who are very invested in the products they try to sell. And in turn, I get to spot the technology trends that are moving. Like
Okay.
today, one big technology trend is all the software is offered as a service. Sometimes platforms are offered as a service.
Yes. Let's come to the last question. If you were to describe yourself with one adjective, what is a more authentic description of Kinjal Shah in your own words?
So I would be happy to be called as an innovation catalyst.
Okay.
I don't know by choice or by chance, but mostly I have been part of smaller organizations which are part of the bigger group companies. To that extent, I have had more freedom in doing new stuff, in trying out different options with the blessings of the parent as a stability. But at the same time, because the individual subsidiaries are smaller firms, they're more agile and nimble, and there is more scope for doing different stuff. So that has helped me in trying out new things and creating a reasonable impact to the organizations in which I've worked. So I've always got to start to work on different projects, trying out new technology, completely transforming technology stacks of some companies. So that has helped me in staying at the forefront of innovation. So I would say I would be a part of an innovation catalyst.
Innovation catalyst. And you think your colleagues and bosses and vendors around you see you as an innovation catalyst? What is the feedback you get from them?
So typically, this is I have got from them only. Not this is
Oh,
okay.
okay, okay.
So because of my technology background and my knowledge of business and all, so I am able to pick different projects which could actually have a meaning. So I have been able to do innovation. Otherwise, many projects may get shuffled because there is a technical angle to it, but there is no business reason to do it.
Right. Well, Kinjal, thank you very much. Happy to meet an innovation catalyst.
Thank you.
Friends, that was Mr. Kinjal Shah, Chief Technology Officer at Yes Securities, sharing his digital wisdom with us. And now we know what kind of person he is, an innovation catalyst. And I think that's a very important role in the financial sector because that is one sector which is changing rapidly and which is actually at the forefront of adopting technology to become better internally and to service customers better. Signing out, Manoj Agarwal.